We always talk in estate planning meetings about people who want to leave gifts, and they want to leave gifts, and they're always after they pass away. And one of the things we try to emphasize is that if you can give now, you actually get to see the result. So if you can start giving now, even if it's just a little bit, you can see what impact you're having and what impact will be there even after you're gone. So by creating the funds that she did, she was able to create a long-lasting impact that will hopefully go on in perpetuity. Ethel McConnell was originally a real estate client. I helped her and her husband sell their house north of Seneca as they moved into the Ottawa area here, and then reconnected with her estate planning wise after her husband passed away.
I'm Ethel Marie Fredrickson was my original name, and I married Ed McConnell in 1950. Ed and I had talked about our little nest egg, what we were going to do with it, and we had to come up with some kind of an idea.
When Ethel and I were talking about her estate plan, she was talking about ways to give back to the community and in specifically ways to honor her husband. And at the time, the foundation was working with a fledgling group over in LaSalle trying to get a TBM Avenger event started out at the airport. And knowing Ethel and knowing her late husband, I knew he had been involved in World War II with the TBM Avengers.
My attorney had recommended I talk to Pamela, and he says that she may have a good idea for you to do something.
I can tell you that from the first meeting that we brought Pamela into after Ethel and I talked about the foundation and what the foundation did, we had scheduled an hour-long meeting, and that meeting ran 2.5 hours.
Knowing that your husband and my dad and my husband were veterans, and that we had both attended the first TBM Avengers event, there were just a lot of things going on that gelled, I think, between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was within, a week, I think, we ended up putting together the first scholarship.
And that was when I first became interested in Starved Rock Country Community Foundation. I don't know how many scholarships you had or if I was the first one.
I believe you were the second scholarship,
Okay.
but no one has two.
Oh.
And you have two as a result of your history with us.
When I suggested that I wanted to set up a second scholarship, one for Ed too, there wasn't any question about the name that I wanted to use because his little airport in Seneca, he called MAC Aero. And I knew then that I need to honor his memory and develop a scholarship that would award those that wanted to go to a aeronautical school.
I'm Lily Keitzer. I grew up in Princeton, Illinois, and graduated Princeton High School in 2023. And I started my flight training when I turned 15 and got my private pilot license when I turned 18. And I'm currently attending Indiana State University, majoring in professional aviation flight technology and aviation management.
Dear Mrs. McConnell, I'm writing to express my sincere thanks for being awarded the prestigious MAC Aero Scholarship.
I grew up with family that was in general aviation, so that was something I kind of was always connected to but didn't realize it. My grandpa had a Cessna 210 and an airstrip right out of town, so we would spend our weekends going to get donuts and coffee every Sunday. My uncle flew F-16s in the Air Force, and now he flies for UPS, so he's kind of my inspiration why I want to fly cargo once I graduate college. It's just something that has always been so fascinating to me from being in airports and traveling as a kid and seeing airports in the sky that I just love everything about it. Being awarded the scholarship has helped out in my training and schooling significantly, as it's helped me pay for my tuition, housing, and my flight fees. And it allows me to focus more on my schooling rather than having to worry about how I'm going to pay for my tuition or housing or each flight every time I'm at the airport. This scholarship is just such a help, not only now, but even in the long run. Everything about it has just been so generous, and I can't be more thankful.
I'm incredibly thankful for the generosity you have extended me. Receiving this scholarship is not just a financial blessing, but also recognition of my hard work, grit, and dedication to my academic pursuit.
I think with Lily in particular, she's been so attentive to you, and she's come over here for a visit.
Ed had wanted to go into the pilot program, but they had a specification for your eyesight, and he didn't pass the eyesight for training for a pilot.
It was just so great to hear about his love for aviation and how much she knew about it and his love for it.
Ed, of course, was deeply involved in aviation from the time he was a child himself. He had a passion. He wanted to help out, but he wanted it to be more than just family getting the money.
There was an instant connection with what the foundation does, and you could definitely see a light in Ethel's eyes as she started weighing the possibilities of what she could do and how it would leave a long-term legacy in both her name and her husband's name, which was incredibly important to her to honor her husband and what he had done in this community.
The support and generosity of the MAC Aero Scholarship provided by the Starved Rock Country Community Foundation is such an honor to have been able to receive.
He had always made model airplanes as a kid growing up. And so he wanted to build the one airplane that was one that he spent most of his time on when he was in service. And then he wanted to build one that was a rescue plane when they were shot down one time. Then the one that he was the gunner in. So he had to have those 3 airplanes. That was the memory of brought back for him.
The Starved Rock Community Foundation, when we originally were conceptualizing it, one of the things that we wanted to do was have a way for people to be able to impact the community long term. We have a very generous community. People are always willing to donate to different causes, different organizations. But one of the problems that we see on the nonprofit side is once one of your longtime donors passes away, that donation stops. They're not there to make that donation anymore. So by creating the foundation, we were able to create a tool that would allow people to make long-term gifts to the community to build up the area and continue to care about the organizations that they cared about now, even long after they're gone.
I think it's important that the scholarship is continued because it can help out others who are in the aviation field, because it can be very costly, as you have to pay for not only school, but you also have to pay for the flight fees and all your licenses and ratings outside of that. Having a scholarship that is worth this much is just so helpful for anyone.
I also love the fact that our team has selected candidates that you were wholeheartedly pleased with and proud that they were getting the Aero Scholarship money when we come and tell you, here's the application from the young person that was selected for your scholarship.
I was really happy to know that it was the young lady that got the scholarship for the MAC Aero, and Ed would have been so pleased and so proud. He hadn't quite finished them when he passed away, and they didn't have any wheels on them yet, so that was left for me to put the wheels on. You know, it's one of those things that I just wish that Ed would be around to appreciate it. I promise to honor your investments by working hard and making the most of my collegiate aviation program. So I finished the airplanes that he didn't have a chance to finish. I don't know if I got the right wheels or not, but they look good to me.
Well, we're going to say he's watching every move you make, right?
Well,
And
sure.
that he has, he might not have an immediate say, but I honestly believe he knows how good you are.
Well,
And you make him incredibly proud at this point that you have stewarded everything you had, and you still have it.
And I would just like to thank the Starved Rock Country Community Foundation, as well as Ethel and her husband, for the MAC Aero Scholarship and how much this has helped me get to where I am today.